Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I pray that you're all doing well. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I appreciate you guys so much. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. So let us jump right into today's message. Have you noticed that, throughout the Bible, in the New Testament, when Jesus wants to heal somebody, he always has the tendency of asking what they want. He has the tendency of asking if they want to be healed. He has the tendency of asking what they want him to do, what they want from him. He's always asking those questions. Jesus has the tendency of asking questions. He knows everything. He knows what you want. He knows what the answer is going to be. But that does not stop him from asking questions. So today I want us to look at the story from John 5:1-9, which is the story of the man who was paralyzed, who had been paralyzed for 38 years of his life, and Jesus finds him. And then we're going to look at the encounter. We're going to look at the conversation that Jesus had with him. So the Bible tells us in John 5:1-9, after this there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate of a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water. Then whoever stepped in first after the stirring of the water was made well of whatever disease he had. Now a certain man was there who had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he already had been there in that condition a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. But while I am coming, another steps down before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your bed and walk." And immediately the man was made well, took up his bed and walked. So Jesus knew that this man had been paralyzed for 38 years. This man had been there by the pool waiting for somebody to help him get into the water whenever it got stirred up. But nobody had been there to help him. Jesus knows the backstory of this man. However, he still goes ahead to ask the question. So what are some of the lessons that we can learn from this? The first thing is, for change to happen in your life, you have to want it first. For change to happen in your life, you have to want it first. No matter how much the people around you want for you to change, no matter how much people want to help you, if you do not want to help yourself, nothing is going to happen. If you do not want to be helped, no matter how much people want to help you, nothing is going to happen. You have to want that change for yourself first and foremost. And so I believe that is one of the reasons why Jesus asked this man, "Do you want to be healed? Do you want to be made well?" And sometimes it's not just about the physical healing. Sometimes we need emotional healing. Sometimes we need spiritual healing. Sometimes we need mental healing. But for that type of healing to happen, we need to want it first. We need to want it badly enough to want to make the changes that are needed for this healing to happen in our lives. So what is it that you want? Do you want to get better? Do you want to break that bad habit? Do you want to get out of that toxicity? Do you want to live a better life? Do you want this badly enough that you'll be able to make yourself uncomfortable enough to want to get better? How much do you want this? How badly do you want this? So Jesus is asking, do you want to be healed? Do you want to get better? Ask yourself this question as you're watching this video. whatever it is that you're going through in your life, whatever addictions you're having in your life, whatever bad habits you're having in your life, whatever toxicity is going on in your life, whatever changes, big or small, you want to make in your life, do you want to get better? Do you want to get better? Do you want to get well? That is the question that Jesus is asking this man. And that is the question that he's asking you, that he's asking me. Do you want help? Do you want to be helped? Now, the next lesson is, in trying to help somebody, in trying to help people, we should remember to respect the dignity of the person. Respect the dignity of the person. It is not because you are in the position to help somebody that you will start to disrespect them. Being in the position to help somebody does not give you the right, does not give you the authority to disrespect that person. Because remember, in one of my videos, I talked about the fact that we all have dignity as human beings. We all have that inherent dignity as human beings, and we should respect each other for the fact of us being human beings. So it's not because you are in the position today to help somebody that you are going to start disrespecting that person just because the person asked you for help. Just because somebody asked you to help them does not mean that you should go ahead and, start treating them in a way that is undignified. Jesus does not disrespect this man. On the contrary, Jesus displays humility. He displays wisdom. And he shows respect for this man's dignity by asking him what he wants him to do, by asking him if he wants him to go ahead and heal him. Jesus knows everything. He knows this man's end from his beginning. He knew this man from when he was still in his mother's womb. He knows everything that this man has been through, yet he recognizes the fact that this man is a man. This is a human being that deserves to be respected. He deserves for his dignity to be respected. And I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to respect that dignity. Have you found yourself in situations where, because you ask somebody for help, somebody that was supposed to be a friend or somebody that was supposed to be close to you, all of a sudden their attitude changes towards you. All of a sudden they start talking to you some type of way. All of a sudden there is, the tone of voice is different. The way they act towards you is different. They start disrespecting you just because they are in the position to help you. That happens a lot as human beings. That happens a lot. But as Christians, we should not fall in that category. If you find yourself getting to that level, if you find yourself beginning to act that way towards somebody that is asking you for help, I want to ask you to pull back. Go to God in prayer and ask God to check your heart. Ask God to check your heart. Ask God to do a work in your heart, so that if you are helping somebody, even if you are helping somebody, you still treat them with respect. You still treat them with dignity, because nobody knows. You are the one helping today, but tomorrow you might be the one that needs to be helped. You're not always going to be the helper. There's going to be a time when you need to be helped. And how would you feel if the person that you're asking help from begins to treat you disrespectfully just because you're asking them for help? One hand washes the other, as they say. One hand washes the other. So it's not because you are in the superior position today that you should treat people in an undignified way. Always endeavor to respect people. I remember in one of my old churches when we had these campaigns, to donate clothes and shoes and different items to the homeless. And one thing that the church leadership would always say: bring clothes that you can still wear. Donate clothes that you can still wear. Do not donate torn clothes. Do not donate clothes that look tattered. It's not because you're going to give these clothes to the homeless that you are going to give clothes that do not dignify them. And before bringing the clothes, they would say, make sure that the clothes are washed. So the clothes get washed, they get ironed, they get folded before being taken to the streets to give to the homeless. And I thought that was beautiful. It is not because somebody is homeless that they stop having dignity as a human being. It is not because somebody does not have that they stop having dignity as a human being. They still deserve to be treated well. They are still God's creation. They are still God's children. So it is not because we have and they don't, or it's not because you have and they don't, that you should treat them any type of way. We need to do better as a people. We need to do better as a body. We need to do better as individuals. We need to do better. Now, the last thing that I learned from this story is the fact that we should not assume. We should not assume that we know what somebody's needs are. We should not assume. Jesus knew this man's needs. He could have assumed, he could have said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and heal this man. But he still went ahead and asked the question, what do you want me to do? Because sometimes we can think that we know what somebody needs, but in actuality, they might need something that is different from what we think that they need. I'm going to give you a funny example. There is this branch of theater that is called Theater for Development. So what happens usually is that theater practitioners who are in those situations, they are like facilitators. They would go to a place where they think there is a need. It could be in a village, it could be in an impoverished area, it could be wherever, but a place that has a need that needs to be filled. So they went to this village, and there was a well. There was no well in the middle of the village. So what they noticed was that kids would travel very far distances to get water. They would travel very far distances to get water. And so the theater practitioners were like, hold on, this is not fair to these children. Why do these children have to, travel all these distances to go get water? Let us build a well in the middle of the village so that they will not have to travel to go get water. So that's what they did. They built the well, right? And then they left. And then usually what happens with Theater for Development is that you have to come back after some time to kind of check the development, to kind of check how people are reacting to the change that you made, to the development that you made for them. And so when they came back, they realized that nobody was using the well. They realized that the children were still traveling far distances to go get water. And so this time around they asked, hey, we built a well for you guys. Why is nobody using the well? That was their first mistake. That was the mistake in the first place. Because what they had to do was they had to ask, what do you guys need? The people would have told them what they needed. But they did not. They went ahead and they provided a solution, or what they thought was a solution. So when they asked this time around, the people told them, well, this is the thing. We live in one-bedroom houses. The families live in one-bedroom houses. And so the parents do not have time for intimacy. The parents do not have a chance to be intimate with each other when the kids are around. So what happens is we send the kids to go get water at faraway places so that we the parents can have time to ourselves, so that we the parents can have time to be intimate with each other, because that is pretty much the only time when we can be intimate with each other. But you guys building the well in the middle of the village, that posed a problem, because that meant that we would not have time to be intimate with each other. And so because these practitioners had assumed what these people needed, they went ahead and provided what they thought was a solution, but it was not a solution. Actually, it was a problem to these people. So I say all of this to say it is good, it's good practice not to always assume what we think people might need, because what we think they might need might not actually be what they need. Sometimes it just helps to ask, how can I help you? What can I do for you? How can I be of help? And the person will articulate what they need for you in that moment. Obviously, there are certain needs that you can clearly see, especially when it comes to, financial needs. Imagine that you see a mother struggling to get to feed her children. It's obvious that there is a financial need there. It's obvious that the child needs food. That is a need that you don't even need to ask. You can provide that need immediately, and then if there is a way for you to help the mother get a job, or help the parent get a job or something, or a source of income to further help them, take care of their kids, that would be another step. So in that situation, it is clear what that need is. But there are situations where you might assume and you might be wrong. You might assume and you might end up being wrong. So it really helps to ask, how can I help you? What do you need? How can I be of help to you? So just to recap, the lessons from this, it's for change to happen in your life, you have to want it. You have to want it. You cannot be helped if you do not want to be helped. You have to want it. And the second thing is, in trying to help somebody, always try to respect their dignity as a human being. And the last thing is, do not assume that you know what somebody needs. It helps to ask. Sometimes it helps to ask how you can be of help. So this was, it's such a simple but very profound and very beautiful story, full of lessons. Like everything in the Bible, there are so many lessons that we can learn. And I just want to pray that we as Christians, we as human beings, that we would be in the habit of respecting each other. It's not because you are in a better position than another person that you should disrespect another person. Even if you're helping somebody, respect them. Even if you're helping somebody, show them dignity. Even if you're helping somebody, remember that they are as human as you are. Even if you're helping somebody, that does not give you the power or the authority or the right to be disrespectful to them, to look down on them. It does not give you that right or that position. It does not. And especially not as Christians. Things change. The tables turn very quickly. Things change very quickly. Tomorrow you might be the giver. Today you might be the giver. Tomorrow you might be the one needing to receive. Today you might be the helper. Tomorrow you might be the one needing help. So always remember to treat people with dignity. Amen. All right, guys, that's the end of today's message. I pray that it blessed you. If it did, please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in my next video, God willing. All right. Bye, guys.